Most of us love a good RPG. Lots of people enjoy a good Mario game. So what happened when Nintendo and Square Enix combined the Mario franchise and the typical RPG formula? They created a truly influential and fun Mario game unlike any other at the time. A game that transformed what we knew of Mario, which wasn't too much, and making a role-playing game of the world around him, starting Mario lore and characterization, and creating a fun experience to boot. This all happened when Super Mario RPG released in 1996. Now, nearly 30 years later, the game is getting the remake it deserves, with better graphics, better music, and on Nintendo's best-selling console, where the game can be played on the TV and on the go by a new generation of Mario fans. From the moment this was announced in a Nintendo Direct, I was excited for Super Mario RPG. I was so excited, I decided to finally play the original on stream. With the help of my good friend Mantleferox, you remember them from another Mario video, I was able to experience the original myself for the first time. I fell in love with the SNES version, and now that I have beaten the original, it helped me enjoy the remake. And enjoy it I did. Seeing it fully remade and remastered, brought back to life, modernized for the current gen consoles, it's truly a spectacular experience that even succeeds the original, and reminds us all of why this game has stood the test of time, whether it be on the SNES or the Switch. So grab your hammers and beware of the forest mushrooms. Let's take a look at Super Mario RPG. The story of Super Mario RPG sounds familiar, as it instantly begins with Mario rescuing Peach from Bowser. I know, never seen that done before. What's different this time is a giant sword slams its way into Bowser's Keep. This is the work of the Smithy Gang, who is causing trouble all over the Mushroom Kingdom and Mario's world, and destroys the legendary Star Road, a giant star that would grant everyone's wishes. So no Star Road, no wishes. What an awful thing! This causes the Star Road to be split into 7 star pieces, scattered all throughout the land, and not just as collectibles in Paper Mario. It's up to Mario to return everything to normal, stop the Smithy Gang, and save the world so shooting stars can keep granting wishes. Sounds like a better plot than Disney's Wish already! But it's not just Mario on a quest. Oh no. He will need the help of new friends and unlikely allies. And not Luigi. Mario must team up with a party of allies, some you may know and others exclusive to this game. There's Mallow, a foster cloud boy raised by tadpoles who wants to know the truth about his parents.
Wow, you're the Mario? I know all about you! You've got more jump in you than a box of frogs!
Geno, a star spirit possessing a wooden action figure with the sole purpose of restoring the Star Road.
No one's wishes will come true until the star pieces are found and the Star Road repaired, which is why I have chosen to join these two in order to find the missing star pieces.
Bowser, who must work with his former Italian enemy in order to gain access to his castle.
I know. You're thinking, a big, strong guy like him would be great to have along, right? I'm going to do something I may regret later. I'll let you join my minions. You can thank me later.
Even Peach is working with Mario in this adventure, healing everybody along the way.
Please, Mario, take me along with you, please. Don't worry, Grandma helped me through this one, so no one will ever notice that I'm gone. So, let's go find us a star.
Together they must use their abilities to find all the star pieces and save the world. The story is pretty much the same as the original, with a few name changes that are similar to the Japanese version. But even so, the story still holds up even today. It's not quite as laugh out loud as Paper Mario, or quite as strange and quirky as Mario and Luigi. But at the same time, the storytelling in this one gives a different sort of vibe to it. It honestly is similar to Final Fantasy games like FF4 or 6, but a lot more lighthearted. This is not surprising, as stated earlier, Square Enix helped make this game, but Nintendo added a lot of the lighthearted fun tone we know in Mario. A lot of the jokes and dialogue still hold up, nearly 3 decades later. As stated, some of the text is changed up, but mostly to be more true to the original version. It's still faithful to the source material when it comes to that. While this is a Mario RPG featuring Mario characters and enemies, there's quite a decent mix of new characters from this game and characters from previous Mario games. You have Mallow and Geno, Smithy's gang, which has some really interesting designs that are mimicked after weapons, like Bowyer and the Axum Rangers. You have Johnny, the shark pirate, Croco, the jumping pickpocket, Booster, who's Beta Wario the more I think about him, and I love him, a city full of moles, even tadpoles, and a frog sage, the artist formerly known as Frogfucius, just to name a few. Although we are missing one character. Sadly, Bruce Lee is no longer in the Mario canon. And along with these new faces, you do have classic Mario characters, like Toads, Goombas, Koopas, Magic Koopas. Even Yoshi gets their own area, where you can race and bet cookies. It feels like exploring the Mushroom Kingdom, and meeting their inhabitants in a fully fleshed out world. And let's not forget the secrets hidden in each area, because Mario is known for its secrets, from hidden chests, tricky paths, all sorts of exciting treasure for those who know where to look. Just like the original, the game does a good job of giving the Mario world a story, one with great dialogue, interesting characters, and a lighthearted feel-good feeling. It's entertaining and charming even all these years later. Now, where this game really shines is in its presentation. My god, this is beautiful! I am seriously stunned that these graphics are on the Switch. They are just so gorgeously stylized, and just are the most visually appealing I've seen in a while. It's amazing how it will take scenes from the original game, and how they will just be straight up cutscenes now. Cutscenes that are breathtakingly beautiful, that bring the once pixelated scenes to life. Better than I ever imagined. The visuals are truly an upgrade. Not to say that the SNES version didn't look good, they were just limited. These are just completely on a different level. Every time I'm just looking at this game, I'm just stunned. One cutscene revealing Geno actually left a tear in my eye. I'm not kidding. Seeing Geno come to life was truly mind-blowing, looking like almost something from a Pixar film. It was so beautiful. Also, look at the detail for Mallow, too. I didn't even know he had a buck tooth until this remaster. The little animations that happen with the dialogue and remaster are just so great. You can actually see characters' facial expressions more as they react to things, bringing more life to them with the technology of the Switch. Honestly, even just seeing some of these characters fully in 3D in 2023 is almost a miracle in itself. We didn't see Geno in Smash, other than a Mii costume, but I'll take this over a fighter cameo any day. It makes me extremely happy to see how certain scenes in the story would be done, and made me look forward to seeing what was new with this remake. Would this scene feature a stylized cutscene? Would a character have a new facial expression I never thought of before? Even seeing a town that's corrupted by Smithy's gang's influence just magically turn brighter and more colorful is a cool effect in its own right. And it's done in such a fantastic way, making both fans of the original and newcomers happy. But it's a Mario RPG, so how does the RPG part stand out? Does it still hold up today? Well, I dare say it holds up so much better. First off, the original was way ahead of its time, having it where you had to hit enemies at the right time, a mechanic that would become a typical RPG standard, whether in Mario RPGs or otherwise. Doing so would make it so you would do more damage depending on your button pressing abilities. And yes, it would determine if you dodged attacks as well, or even in this version where a super guard could happen at the perfect time. Wow. The button presses made each battle more interesting, as you did not mindlessly press A going through fighting. You have to pay attention. Make sure you hit things with decent timing if you want to get the most out of battles, and get them done quicker. It isn't required, of course, you could just button mash if you want, but also it provides an extra challenge to yourself to see if you can improve your reaction timing, especially with stuff like the super jump, where you have to time it just right to keep jumping on an enemy. And if you do it right, you can bounce to up to 100 times. I'm going to improve my record. I swear it. Oh. This also brings up an important difference from Mario RPG to other RPGs. Everything is Mario themed. Mario doesn't use a sword, he uses a hammer. Peach uses her parasol and a frying pan. Bowser uses a chain chomp. All sorts of little nods and references to the Mario games themselves. Mario's special abilities are jumping and fire. Like, you know, the abilities in his games? Bowser can terrorize people. And even the original characters like Mallow and Geno use their own attacks that reflect their character. You use mushrooms to heal your HP and honey syrups to restore flower points. You use coins you find in the levels to buy things. You can get freebies from an item if you're lucky enough, along with random boosts of attack and defense. You can even get a Yoshi minigame that if you pick the right egg, you get double coins or even double experience. Everything is done in the perfect Mario way, making this game unique and wonderful and changing up the constant RPG battles. It adds so much flavor that fans of the plumber are going to enjoy. This game could have easily just been Mario being isekai'd to some medieval world or something, but they didn't do that. This isn't just Mario in an RPG. This is a Mario RPG that feels like one from beginning to end. This is all fun and good, right? But there's an original one that came out years ago. The remake's $60. Do you think it really is worth it, Random? Well, my fine viewers, that is where quality of life improvements come in. So many modernizations of RPG games, things that we've taken for granted in a lot of games, are finally in Mario RPG. First things first, we got storage! Yo! That's the biggest chest I've ever seen in a Mario game! Never mind! Inventory management was one of my biggest gripes with the original. It was something I could live with for sure, but if you weren't careful and always had your pockets full, you can lose an item permanently. Not anymore! Not only do items stack and you can hold up to 10 items each, but also if you do run out of space, it instantly goes to Mario's ever-expanding chest. And you can recover it by going to Mario's pad whenever you want. This is a lot bigger than one would think. You don't have to worry about losing items, and you can collect as much of a certain item as you please. Think of all the rock candies that I can collect! Culex's teeth are going to rot! Attacks do even more damage if you get the timing right. And if you really do a good job with the rhythm, it will cause a ripple effect that hits even more enemies, which feels very rewarding. There's also a new battle mechanic of the gauge, where with each successfully timed attack, the gauge meter builds up. Once it reaches 100%, you kick off a special tri-attack that changes depending on the 3 characters that are in your party. It shows some really cool animations exclusive to the remake that perform really good damage. It's so visually impressive and I adore it. And that's only the beginning of the quality of life improvements. There's so much that has changed in this game for the better that makes it a lot easier. The animations are so detailed, so much so that they really help telegraph your timing with fighting and guarding. If you really have trouble, there's even an exclamation point that tells you when to time it right. You can switch party members anytime, whether it be in the main menu or mid-battle. You can equip items to the shop immediately. You can go to the main menu to go to the world map anytime you want. It's a lot easier to spot Yoshi to get the bonuses. Even the Yoshi race, one of the hardest rhythm button presses in the original game, now has visual indicators. Visual indicators! You could argue that this makes the game too easy, but I really enjoy how accessible it is for new fans to pick up. So it's good for those who are used to the Mario RPG or those who are trying it for the first time. I love it! Genuine negatives I had with the original SNES version are completely gone. There's even some added content like a bestiary that increases with every enemy you fight, giving you their names, weaknesses, even some fun little descriptions of each enemy. It's not only cool to learn about each foe you fight, but also gives completionists something to work for. Speaking of enemies, there's also a post-game too where you can re-fight bosses, but they could be a lot tougher. While I didn't get a chance to try them yet, I'm glad it adds some more challenge and replayability, as the game can be a bit on the easy side. I did find myself one-shotting enemies pretty early in, but there are some special enemies you can encounter that are notably tougher, that can give you frog coins if you beat them, which you can use to get cool items. But you work for them, as these enemies do a lot more damage and can mess with you if you're not careful. And if you do have a tough time with the game, or you just want to enjoy the story, there is a breezy mode along with the normal mode, and you can switch between them whenever you want. In fact, you can customize a lot of things from the main menu whenever you want. You can change to go with the original control scheme or the remakes. whether you are constantly dashing or walking, even whether you want the original or the orchestrated music. Oh my god, how could I forget about the music? The music in this game, absolute perfection. It is one of my favorite things about this remake by far. I love it. These tracks slap. Literally some of the best orchestrated versions of these tracks I have ever heard. These songs were already spectacular in the original. Happy Town, the boss's themes, Beware the Forest Mushrooms, and more shine with a fresh new coat of instruments. My personal favorite is Booster's theme. You like jazz? I like this jazz! Party at Boosters, baby! It really makes me smile listening to these tracks. They feel bouncier, there's more layers to the music themselves. They really help bring these worlds to life in the Mushroom Kingdom. They are different from the original, and some of these remixes exceed their SNES counterparts, while others are okay in comparison. Not everyone's a winner. But the good thing is, the game has the option to switch to the original soundtrack whenever you want. You can listen to them back to back if you wanted to. I honestly just enjoy listening to them. I've been listening to them in the car rides all the time. The soundtrack in this game is that good. This soundtrack is so good. If this soundtrack were a partner, I would take her out to dinner and marry her in Marrymore. And we would do lots of fun things in that suite. I love that I can play this game now on the Switch. I can truly say that this remake has far exceeded my expectations of what I thought this was going to be. Nintendo has really stepped up the remaster game lately. First Metroid Prime and now this. They're spoiling us. I truly love how this remake turned out. And there's so much I can go on and on about. The music, the updated visuals, the story, the characters. So much about this game is filled with charm, and you can tell the devs put so much work into this remake. I honestly am having trouble critiquing it and finding anything bad to say about it. I haven't beaten it, so there probably will be more things, but if there's any issues I have, it's that the loading can take a bit too long, especially when going to the world map. It's a huge nitpick, but even with that complaint, the game is still worth it. I really love this remake. It's the best way to play the game, and now it's on your favorite portable console. It truly is the definitive version, and as much as I am having fun writing this review, I want nothing more than to stop editing this video and just keep playing Mario RPG! I'm so glad this timeless classic is available for a new generation, and I cannot wait to finish it and replay it again and again. Whether you are a fan of the original or never touched a Mario RPG before, even if you aren't the biggest fan of RPGs at all, it's such a good introduction to the genre and a great time for fans of Mario. Super Mario RPG on the Nintendo Switch is a remake that's truly shooting for the stars. God, this was such a good game. I'm so glad this game was made with a lot of love and care, and it actually gives me a lot of hope that maybe other SNES games will get the remake treatment. Maybe Earthbound, or Link to the Past, or Earthworm Jim, I don't know. Until then, what did you think about Super Mario RPG? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button, and stay tuned for more videos.
I'm just Mallow. I'm just a little guy. I'm just doing little guy things. Like causing bolts of lightning to fall from the sky. And making giant snowmen. To crush my enemies and see them driven before them and hear the lamentations of their women. You know, little guy stuff.